Good morning and welcome to today's webcast, How NetSuite Empowers Growth for Life Sciences Companies, presented by Moss Adams. Before we begin, I'm going to play a brief housekeeping video to help the audience get oriented.
Welcome, and thank you for viewing our webcast series. Before we begin, please keep the following in mind. You can customize how you view our presentation and interact with the presenter. For better viewing, close all other applications and turn up your speaker volume. You can adjust window size and placement or enter full screen mode using the controls at the top right of the window or dragging the bottom right-hand corner to resize. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a series of icons that relate to a different aspect of our session. You can download a PDF of today's slides from the Slide Deck and Handouts widget. You can ask questions by typing in the Q&A window and clicking Submit. We'll do our best to answer all questions or follow up via email. If you experience technical difficulty, refresh your browser by hitting the F5 key. This presentation is not legal, investment, or accounting advice. We encourage you to seek the counsel of a professional service provider to apply this content to your specific circumstances.
I'm pleased to introduce today's presenters from Moss Adams. First, we have Labi Rabiu, partner from our Enterprise Systems Consulting team, who will be giving us his insights into NetSuite today. And we also have Annie Norville, our life sciences partner who helps leads our practice in the Southern California and Phoenix region, who will be giving us an industry outlook on the landscape of the market today. Let me go ahead and transfer over to our agenda to be on screen for the audience. And with that, the floor is yours, Annie.
Thank you, Gerald. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. In today's presentation, we'll explore how a robust cloud ERP system can help life science companies to manage their growth in a scalable and a sustainable manner. In today's presentation, we will start just have a quick overview of the industry. And specifically, we want to talk about some of the challenges and the solutions that we might have on some of the system matters. And we all know the life science industry has been growing rapidly, and it's on track to reach $376 billion by 2027, right? That's a really good growth rate of a 15% compound annual growth rate. It's stunning. With that growth, there's a lot of great ideas and innovations and awesome products to help people's lives and their well-being. And, in addition to that, there are also a lot of, innovative ideas and solutions to improve animal health, the overall environmental matters that we all care about. However, with all that growth in mind, right, many early stage life science and biotech companies rely on a combination of spreadsheets or basic accounting systems such as QuickBooks, or some point software solutions to run their operations, right? As the companies grow, which sometimes could take off really quickly, there are a lot of limitations with utilizing these less sophisticated tools to operate in a more complex environment. So without further ado, I'll pass it to my partner, Labi, to dive into some of these specific system challenges and propose solutions. Labi.
Thank you, Annie. And again, welcome everyone to the presentation. So for the rest of the presentation, we'll discuss the key opportunities and challenges facing life science companies, but we'll focus specifically on the system challenges and how the right cloud ERP system can help address these system challenges. Life science companies face numerous opportunities and challenges as they navigate growth from the lab research to clinical trial and commercialization phase. And these opportunities and challenges span science, financing, staffing, partnering and collaboration, regulatory compliance, audit and reporting, and taxation. We have highlighted some of the key opportunities and challenges in each of these areas on this slide. And I'm not going to go into details of all of this because we'll be sharing this. But suffice to say, how well an organization navigates these opportunities and challenges will ultimately determine its success and growth trajectory. Making this happen is not going to be easy. Navigating these challenges is not going to be easy because as life science companies advance from lab research to clinical trials all the way through commercialization, they need robust technology platforms to support them across all the stages and beyond. Unfortunately, as Annie said, what we see is life science startups typically rely on basic solutions like QuickBooks, which can quickly turn into a liability once a company starts to hire employees, take on investors, start clinical trials, establish their distribution network, or even file an IPO. So life science companies face numerous financial and reporting related system challenges as they navigate their business cycles. They have some specific system needs that we find that their legacy or basic accounting systems often struggle to fulfill. And here we are talking about needs like project accounting from R&D all the way through commercialization. Many of the systems that we see life science companies use struggle to help account for all of the costs related to their studies as they navigate their growth from R&D all the way to commercialization phase. Procurement automation is another challenge that we see them struggle with, as well as contract management. Consolidated reporting, dashboards, and key performance indicators to track and manage business metrics. That's something we see them struggle with as well. And they also struggle with ease of integration and data interchange with outsourced partners like third-party logistic providers, 3PLs, or contract manufacturers, often known as CMOs. They struggle with lot traceability to support product tracking and potential recalls. We see them struggle with system challenges related to quality management for safety, regulatory compliance, especially when it relates to 21 CFR Part 11, is another area where we find life science companies' systems lacking. And that's not to mention security and controls. In this age of cyber intrusion, access security becomes very important, and so does financial process control. And oftentimes, the systems we see life science companies use struggle with configuring these solutions. So life science companies with long R&D stages that don't generate revenue can find themselves on a fast track to commercialization once their clinical trials are complete. And at that point, these companies, especially the ones that are still working on integrated systems, who are using Excel spreadsheets to manually transfer data between systems, they might struggle to keep up with their business needs. And sharing data across disparate legacy systems requires a lot of spreadsheets, as anyone would tell you who's been there. And the systems we see them use are often rarely configurable enough to meet the needs of growing organizations, which may then mean that the business is hamstrung with limited functionality, poor financial controls, or a complete lack of consolidated financial and operational reports. So what that means is the closer life science companies get to commercializing their product or services, the more cumbersome their existing technology system is, the bigger the challenges of growth becomes. But there is a solution. The right cloud ERP system can help life science companies solve these system challenges. As a life science company grows, it becomes imperative that it transitions from being technologically averse to working in an agile, collaborative manner. Companies that invent and deliver life-altering therapies and drugs need robust technology systems that can help them advance through the various phases of their business life cycle. So now let's discuss how the right cloud ERP system can help life science companies solve these system challenges. ERP systems, by automating and integrating business processes, help life science companies solve business challenges. They support information flow between the organization and its partners. They enable decision-making for management and provide reporting for not just statutory compliance, management decision-making, but also for related parties that may need report from them. And reporting is especially relevant for life science companies who typically work with many outside entities like contract manufacturers and distributors to get their products to the marketplace. There are three different ways of deploying ERP systems. We have the on-premise method, hosted method, and cloud. But cloud has been the option of choice for most companies operating in the modern business environment. And just to share some stats, most enterprise systems use some type of cloud software to run operations. And cloud ERP deployment is rapidly replacing on-premises or even the old hosted option as companies either invest in new systems or upgrade their existing software. According to IDC, about 2/3 of life science companies are adopting business-critical applications that are deployed in the cloud. And that proportion is expected to reach 90%, which effectively illustrates just how important the cloud has become for life sciences organization. So now let's use the example of NetSuite, which is the leading cloud ERP system, to highlight the many capabilities and benefits of cloud ERP systems. NetSuite provides a fully integrated ERP platform with all the functionality required to run a life science business in a single integrated environment. So for example, NetSuite analysis framework lets life science companies build their own KPIs, as key performance indicators to track metrics, and dashboards, so management can get real-time information. And it does this via user-friendly point-and-click interface that allows users to build their own KPIs and dashboards. And other features of NetSuite include roles and permissions for proper segregation of duties, workflows for various business processes, procurement process, quote to cash process, and so on. It has user-friendly forms that support seamless data entry. And there's thousands of hours of pre-configuration, all based on leading practices by industry. It has the ability to customize, allowing users to build their own reports, make changes without needing IT help. And it supports industry standard integrations. And beyond that, it has a marketplace of integrated third-party applications known as suite apps that extend NetSuite for specific industry and business needs. And looking at the wheel here, as we've noted, ERP systems help organizations automate and integrate business processes. And NetSuite core modules that help with this include the core ERP financials. And here we're talking about advanced financials, invoicing and billing, revenue management, accounts payable automation, planning and budgeting, or treasury management like account reconciliation or electronic bank payments, and fixed assets management. Those are part of the core ERP financials. And NetSuite also has customer relationship management to track opportunities all the way through lead quote generation and winning a new customer with contract renewals, incentive compensation management, and CPQ, known as configure price quote. NetSuite has e-commerce features, Suite Commerce and Suite Commerce Advanced is what it's called, to support e-commerce sales management. And it supports supply chain management, which includes procurement, warehouse management, demand planning, and quality management. It has production and inventory management features with the ability to manage complex inventory requirements and maintain accurate inventory counts. And there's human resource features. NetSuite Payroll and its Suite People HR help centralize and simplify the process of onboarding and managing employees and managing their compensation. And it goes beyond that. There is OneWorld. NetSuite offers OneWorld, which is a fully integrated, multilingual, multi-currency, multi-subsidiary management platform. It has an open API because it was built with open application programming interface. Companies can customize the ERP without the need for costly customization. And it offers the ability to transact on mobile apps. In this age where folks need typically 24/7 access and there's need for remote work, anyone can access NetSuite from their mobile devices with the right permission to approve transactions or even collaborate with colleagues. And as you've noted, NetSuite has support for third-party application because it offers a development and deployment platform that's flexible enough to allow companies to connect with third-party applications seamlessly. And we haven't even talked about NetSuite AI features. NetSuite unleashes the power of AI for life science companies. And it does this with a foundation of features grouped as AI assistants, AI advisors, and AI platform. With assistants, NetSuite uses AI to handle repetitive tasks based on business rules and best practices. So for example, NetSuite has what is called bill capture, which uses AI-based object detection and data classification to bring invoice data into the system faster and with fewer errors. Invoices are scanned and AI-based object detection and optical character recognition automatically extract needed information to populate a vendor bill record in the system, so users don't have to enter it themselves. The system then enables three-way matching by matching the invoice with associated purchase orders and receiving documents to validate that pricing, quantities, and totals are all accurate. With advisors, NetSuite uses AI-driven data analysis to identify trends and make more accurate predictions, as well as respond to a broad range of questions and improve both forecasting and planning. Companies benefit from unique insights and decision-making support and can leverage data to uncover trends and spark ideas. So for example, NetSuite planning and budgeting solution uses AI-based analysis to put large data sets in context and improve revenue forecast. The platform also enhances human-like interactions by integration of machine language and natural language processing and large language models known as LLMs. And finally, with this unified, centralized platform, NetSuite uses AI to simplify processes and provide a single centralized data source. And one example of this that I often give is the NetSuite Supply Chain Tower, which uses AI to predict potential supply issues and alert buyers and alert planners and offer solutions to pressing problems. And in addition to all of this, NetSuite continues to innovate and explore the next frontier, which is generative AI, which we all talk about these days. In 2023, the vendor introduced a host of new generative AI-powered capabilities to help life science companies reach their goals faster and more efficiently. And I'll be happy to share more information on all this with anyone who might be interested after the presentation. So moving on, let's now explore NetSuite solutions for key challenges across a life science company's business cycle. And we'll take each business cycle and speak to some of the functionality available in NetSuite to help manage operations in that cycle. In the preclinical phase, a life science organization is typically non-revenue generating. At that point, it will be heavily involved in R&D studies. And because this is a heavy spending phase, companies need to be able to accurately budget, allocate costs, and automate their procurement process. Companies in the preclinical phase also need core financial and reporting capabilities. They need planning and budgeting solutions. And they need an efficient way to manage operation costs by project, from R&D all the way through commercialization stage. And all of these features are available in NetSuite's base module. As we move on to the clinical development phase, life science companies' needs evolve because now they're involved in managing early and late stage clinical development activities. And at that point, an organization might need multi-company management features that consolidate reports, especially if it's setting up global entities to feed its R&D and contract manufacturing processes. The same company is probably in hiring mode and in need of an automated HR management platform to handle onboarding, compensation management, or performance tracking and other HR functions. It's also the time to think about manufacturing and distribution. Some life science companies set up their manufacturing and supply chain operations very early during the R&D phase, but others might outsource for years until they have the resources and strategic capabilities needed to establish their own facilities. But regardless of where a life science company lands in this curve, it will at some point need robust supply chain, inventory management, quality management, regulatory compliance, and internal control capabilities. Then as we move towards commercialization, companies need a customer relationship management platform for managing leads, quoting, and tracking customer activities and sales performance. When navigating the commercialization phase, NetSuite advanced revenue management and its ease of integration and data interchange with third-party logistic providers, 3PLs, and contract manufacturing operations, CMOs, contract manufacturing organizations, CMOs, will be vital for real-time management decision-making. So to recap, when navigating different business cycles, life science companies need to automate various business processes. And this is where an ERP platform like NetSuite can prove its value. NetSuite provides a powerful solution that growing life science organizations can use to effectively manage complex operations. And Moss Adams can help. We have been working with companies to implement and get the most out of their NetSuite investments since 2007. We became a partner of Oracle NetSuite after realizing that most companies were inquiring about the solution. Most of our clients were inquiring about it. And we found out that it was the most suitable cloud ERP for companies ranging from startup to enterprise, large corporations, and all the stages in between. Moss Adams is a NetSuite solution provider. We're a software development network partner, and we provide standard and custom solutions on the Oracle NetSuite platform. We also provide business process outsourcing services for customers that want to leverage NetSuite for their bookkeeping. We've won Oracle NetSuite awards for delivering solutions that extend the platform to solve client problems in unique industry verticals. So let's share some information on what solutions Moss Adams has developed to help life science companies get the highest return on their investment in NetSuite. We have pre-built solutions that we've developed over time and fine-tuned over a decade really, of implementing NetSuite for our life science companies. And these solutions include pre-built segregated roles and permissions for life science companies for SOD compliance. We have readily deployed approval workflow bundles for procurement approval process and various approval process around supply chain operations. We have pre-built accrual reports, sample consolidated operating expense and flux reports that organizations can leverage as examples. We provide change log and audit trail reporting for compliance with SOX and Section 21 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 11. We support companies through NetSuite validation, working with third parties. And we provide comprehensive SOX readiness assessment and ongoing support for public companies in conjunction with SOX 404 compliance practice. There are many benefits that accrue to companies who have implemented NetSuite with our life science solutions. Once in place, NetSuite fulfills many needs, including some undiscovered needs that many life science companies didn't even realize they had. So for example, one benefit is users leverage the power of business process automation to decrease transaction costs and reduce error rates. Executives gain real-time financial reporting and a single view of the business on one platform, as opposed to having to sift through spreadsheets to find what they're looking for. And that in turn can lead to another benefit, which is increased visibility across the organization and better, faster, and more educated decision-making process. Other benefits include user-friendly dashboards and data analytics that enable easy access to reporting and real-time visibility into key performance indicators and a more streamlined, agile system for regulatory compliance. One surprise benefit is the degree to which business controls are suddenly tightened when organizations leverage NetSuite with our pre-built solutions. And that's because life science companies might be unaware of the key control features in NetSuite that can be easily configured to meet their needs around SOX and 21 CFR. And that means the first step in any ERP implementation doesn't have to be customization or integration. Instead, life science organizations can leverage NetSuite's native functionalities plus Moss Adams pre-built solutions to take full advantage of the ERP system and get the highest possible return on their investment. So to conclude, companies behind life science innovations will need robust digital platforms. that help them work better, smarter, and faster across all phases of their life cycle. And with NetSuite, Moss Adams has all these tech bases covered. We can help so that life science companies can focus on research and development and products and services that improve health. And with that, we've come to the end of our presentation. And thank you all for joining. I'll hand it back to Gerald to wrap us up.
Very good. Well, I'm going to be making a few announcements here. Thank you, Labi. In the meantime, in the interim, there is a Q&A tool that I have highlighted on the audience's tools that will allow you to submit questions of your own if you have any to answer here on air. Otherwise, we'll also be taking questions offline and answering them individually if we can't get to them here. The first announcement that I have is to complement Labi's presentation in the featured links section. I have included a few helpful links. The first one is the link to a downloadable NetSuite guide specifically for life sciences companies that you can use to have as a take-home for your teams in internal meetings if you'd like to discuss this further. Additionally, in the Learn More section in those featured links, we also have 3 case studies of real-world implementations of NetSuite with life sciences companies in a variety of scenarios, as well as featuring companies in various stages of their developmental cycle. There is a question here in the Q&A queue that just came in. Let's see if we can take this on air here. This comes from the audience. It reads, can you tell us a little bit about NetSuite Analytic Warehouse?
Yes. NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, known as NSAW, is one of the latest innovations from the vendor. It's a powerful analytics tool that enhances the platform to really enable management mine information that may not be easily accessible through safe searches or the native report engine. And we found clients really benefit from this. And Dinesh, I'll be happy to connect with you offline to share more about what we've done in that regard and how we can potentially leverage, how we can help you leverage NSAW if that's a tool that you might be interested in.
Thank you, Labi. We have another question here from the audience. It reads, how does NetSuite approach account reconciliations?
Great question. Great question. So NetSuite offers a number of tools. There is the native tool that comes with NetSuite BankRec for matching accounts, matching transaction in the system against account statements from the bank. And that's enabled by direct feed into NetSuite from your bank and automatic matching so that you are only dealing with the exceptions, the unreconciled transactions. But NetSuite goes beyond that. Now, NetSuite actually has a separate account reconciliation tool that goes well beyond treasury management to allowing account reconciliation throughout the system. And that's another powerful tool that we've seen clients leverage. And again, I'll be more than happy to share more information around how we can help with this offline for anyone who might be interested, just in the interest of time.
Thank you. Continuing on with the resources again to close up the Learn More section here on the audience console. Again, we have the NetSuite guide as a downloadable available there, and also the 3 case studies available to read within your web browser available there as well. I see another question has come in. Before we get into that, I'll just finish my last announcement. There is also a speaker's bio section that I've highlighted for the audience here that contains direct contact information for both Labi as well as for Annie, if any of the audience are interested in connecting directly after the session. Our new question here in the queue that's arrived, Labi, it reads, how does NetSuite payment process compare with Bill.com?
Great question. So we see clients leverage Bill.com and integrate it with NetSuite for a number of reasons. They usually have a lean AP team, and they don't want to get in the business of managing the AP invoice entry, data entry in the system. So they work with their vendors to drop the invoice directly in Bill.com's platform so that Bill.com then manages the payment process for them in a seamless way. But NetSuite now offers bill capture, which is a pretty robust tool that allows you to scan vendor invoices with very limited data entry, leveraging optical character recognition, so that bills are created in the system. And once the bills are created in the system, you then can leverage NetSuite payment automation features. For example, the normal check run is available, including the ability to do manual on-the-fly check. But beyond that, electronic bank payments, ACH, is supported natively in NetSuite, so that you can generate a NACHA-compliant file that can either be manually uploaded into your bank portal so that the bank can credit your payees. But we actually recommend, and we work with clients to directly transmit the files via SFTP, so there is no manual intervention whatsoever once the payment file is generated, and that's really what we recommend. But NetSuite has all these capabilities built into it to support direct generation of payment file that's sent directly to the bank via SFTP, so that the bank can process payment to payees in real time. So I would say oftentimes the concern that drives clients to Bill.com is that data entry part, but with bill capture, with NetSuite bill capture, that has been somewhat alleviated. And then from there on, you can leverage the power of the payment automation tools in NetSuite, including ACH payment.
Thank you. I'm reading through the rest of the queue here, and one question that I received here on the side, it comes from a company that's implemented NetSuite with a previous provider quite a while ago. And they aren't sure that they're getting the most out of their current implementation. Does Moss Adams work with companies to optimize existing implementations, maybe make recommendations on a different direction, or perhaps an aspect of NetSuite that they weren't aware of?
Yes, absolutely. We do that, actually. A lot of our business actually come from clients of the firm who have implemented NetSuite through other providers and who find that they're not getting the best return on their investment. Oftentimes, the functionality that's available haven't been fully leveraged, or they might be struggle with reporting and so on and so forth. We have a team of consultants in the firm who specialize in just optimizing and improving NetSuite processes for our clients. And we have a very well-defined methodology we follow around that, which starts with a very clear business process review to fully understand the client's pain points, and then recommend solution options. And we do this as pro bono service for a lot of our clients, so that once you review the recommendation and you feel strongly that that might be the solution for you, you can then engage with our team to implement those recommendations for you. So that's something we offer as a service, and it's a standard service for Moss Adams as the leading NetSuite solution provider.
Thank you, Labi. That appears to have exhausted our current queue for questions submitted from the audience. So I'll begin to wrap things up here. Currently, within your web browser, if your pop-ups are allowed, we have a webcast survey. So before the audience departs for today, we'd appreciate any feedback that you'd have for Labi and for Annie for this webcast today there. Additionally, in your user console, I am now highlighting a tool called Contact Us. This will allow you to, of course, do what it says on the tin and reach out to us with any questions you may have regarding NetSuite and our life sciences practice. On behalf of Labi and Annie, we thank you very much for your time today. and we look forward to having you at a future webcast soon. Have a great rest of your day, and for more information, visit mossadams.com. Thank you.
Thank you.